like glowing. If you're getting them, I'm getting them. Hi, hello, and welcome to The Bookish Life.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Tori. And in today's episode, we're going to be answering your burning questions, which a lot of people had a lot of burning questions. I mean, we did post our first episode, and then people were like, what is this?
Very excited, yes.
Yeah, which we are very excited. And we were actually going to post every other week. We were going to do bi-weekly, but we decided, you know what? Everyone loves it, so why not do weekly? Why not just try to do weekly?
And filming not together, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah, so this is our first episode. We're going to try filming separate. I mean, I think one of the questions, I glanced at them, one of the burning questions was, do you live next to each other? No, we live 8 hours away, which can be very difficult when you do something like this. The first episode and some of the other ones when we're in my library, which is the pink library, which you guys are looking at the camera now. I'm looking at my camera. Jess has her camera and she's looking at her camera.
Yep.
So this is my background. I will be going to see Jess sometime soon in the next couple months. So maybe we'll film a couple episodes when I'm there, but
you have the whole setup at your house though. So it's very easy to film at your house.
Well, yes, Brandon sets it up for me.
Yeah.
But okay. So with all that being said, I guess we can just jump into the burning questions because I feel like there was a lot of them.
There are, yes. So we will have an episode coming out about like what we do for work. We both work in the book industry, but someone said outside of content creation on your YouTube and Booksta, what else are you guys doing for work? Which I feel like we could just answer real quickly.
Yeah, I mean, in that episode, we really dive into like what we do, like more so than just mentioning it. So I guess I'll go first.
Because someone did ask if you are still a paralegal.
Okay, so yeah, I'll answer both of those. No, I'm not a paralegal. I stopped being a paralegal in March, so I definitely switched careers. And for me, outside of content creation on YouTube and then my Bookstagram, I do have a Patreon. Both Jess and I, we both have a Patreon. Yep. I started mine in March. Jess, you started yours in
January.
Yeah. So this year is the Patreon thing is new. I also work for Becca, Becca is a lovely human being. She is one of the best people in the entire world. She owns 3 different companies. She owns Hello Lovely. She owns Artemis Literary. And she owns, Fairy Plot Mother. I've like blanked on it for a second. But basically, I am her executive assistant for her particularly and as well across those companies that she has. We also have Forever and Always.
Yes. Which we barely talked about in the last episode.
Yeah, we really didn't talk about Forever and Always, but Forever and Always PR is something we started as well in March, and it's something both Jess and I co-own. We are officially co-owners of that, which is nice and scary at the same time. It's an audio PR company, so basically we help put out ALCs for authors, releasing an audiobook and or have a backlist tour that they want to do.
Yeah.
Is that all I do?
For now, yeah.
Yeah,
we're always adding new things.
Yeah.
So
what do you do?
That's Tori. So I used to be a teacher. I was a teacher for 8 years. I taught high school English, and I quit my job. And I knew pretty much that entire last year I wanted to quit my job. So I started working with Artemis because of Becca. We were friends, chatted about wanting to quit my job. She was like, let's do it. So we created Artemis together. So I still do that. My goal was to eventually work for authors because I have a lot of author friends in the industry, and I saw a lot of people that were taking the leap to like work in the book industry, and that's something I definitely wanted to do. And so now I work for 2 authors as an assistant, and I also work for a marketing agency. So I have 4 jobs plus Forever and Always plus YouTube. So.
And Patreon.
Yes.
And this podcast.
Yes. So I feel like I'm busier now than I was when I was teaching and doing YouTube on the side.
Yeah.
Like way busier.
I definitely, you know what? I agree with that, but it's also like a good busy.
Well, yeah. So like I had talked about, and I did a video, like a life update, and I would always dread Sundays because Sunday night I'd be like, oh my God, I have 5 days of work to get through. And like I had a countdown app for all the things I was excited for. I don't even use that app anymore because like I don't need to like count down the days to something because I enjoy my work every day and I never get like nervous on Sundays. The fact because I end up doing work anyways on Sundays, which isn't like It's not annoying yet, but I was just like, I have forever and always stuff to do tomorrow, and I know I'm going to do it tomorrow, but it is what it is.
And you have to edit this episode.
And a vlog going up on Monday, so yeah.
Yeah, we're just like always busy, but it's good because everything that we do, I mean, we have deadlines. We all have deadlines that forever and always we kind of make our own deadlines. So if we know we have something coming up, we will like schedule someone's tour kind of around that. So we're not, we know we're probably not going to get to it. Like if we're at a book signing or something like that.
We quickly learned not to schedule anything while we're out of town. Yeah.
Yeah. So we started doing that. But a lot of the things that we have deadlines for, we can pretty much work whenever we want, which is nice for me, at least. I like a schedule, but sometimes I like the freedom to kind of do what I want when I want, which is also nice with this job. So, yeah. Jess is the opposite.
We get into that, though, in that other episode, so we won't talk too much about that. But I am very schedule-oriented, and I like that. But I like having my own schedule working from home. It's very nice.
Yeah, I kind of I do a lot of work. I definitely do a lot of things, but I schedule it when like my body and my mind can handle it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll be having that episode come out in a couple weeks, I think.
Well, we have one about how we got here. I don't remember which one we said was going to be first.
Yeah, we have next week is coming like how we got here, as in like someone asked like what was the burning question? You became friends or something? I glanced at the questions. I didn't look at
How did you become such good friends?
Yeah, we go into that in our next episode where we talk about like how we got here as in this podcast. So I'm currently editing that now. They just take a little bit of a time because we have 3 different angles and it's a lot of work, you know.
So what is a book we both love?
Well, recently Forget Me Not by Julie Soto.
I was so nervous for you to read that because I loved it so much.
I was nervous to read that one too. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I have those 2 in front of me. We definitely have some books that we love.
Well, I loved Binding 13, which is like one of your favorites.
Yes. I will say out of like the 2, Redeeming 6 and Saving 6, so like
But
Joey's
I haven't
story.
read those yet.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, we both love Gianna's books.
Yep, all of Gianna's books. We definitely love. A lot of Catherine's books too.
Yeah.
Like the Tattered and Torn series, that was like one of my favorites.
I mean, but there is another question that's a book you both have opposing opinions on, and there's some of my favorites that you do not like, and I try not to take it personally.
Like, Don't Kiss the Bride?
I mean, that's not an all-time favorite, but I really liked it. You didn't like Kiss the Bride? Don't Kiss the Bride?
No, I did not like that one. Which is another one? Oh, the B.B. Easton one?
Yeah.
Didn't like that one.
No. And well, I feel like it's more books that I've loved that you don't like. I don't think there's any that like you've absolutely loved that I didn't like. I just haven't read them yet.
Well, Even If It Hurts by Sam Mariano, you didn't like that one.
Okay, well, so like you love Untouchable. Did you love Untouchable? Did you read Untouchable?
But I like Even If It Hurts better.
Did I read Even If It Hurts? I haven't read her since Untouchable. Oh, wait. Did I? I just don't like Sam Mariano, and I know everybody loves her. And then Lucia Franco, her Balance series, I don't love. But I don't know if it's because I read pre-edited version, but that's just something.
Have you read Hush Hush?
Yeah, and I liked it.
Oh, I love that one. Like, we love Reckless by Elsie Silver.
Yes, I need you to read Hopeless.
Yeah, I'm going to read it soon. Yeah, we do have a lot of like overlapping ones. Like, even if I love a book, she doesn't really hate them. She's just like, it was okay. Like 4 stars, 3 stars.
Right. But I don't know if there's anything that you've been like, this is my absolute favorite that I have not liked.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
But there have been ones that I've absolutely loved that you have not. So.
Yeah. Okay, what's the next one?
What's a book you both dislike?
Ooh. Light Lark? Well, you haven't read Light Lark.
If I see you read something like Light Lark, I was like, oh, I don't need to read that because you really didn't like it.
Yeah. Or like Divine Rivals.
Oh, yeah. Because I gave that 2
I'm
stars.
not reading. I was going to read it literally like the week after you were reading it, but you were like, no, I did not like this. So I was like, okay, skip.
People really love that, though, so it would be interesting to seeing your thoughts.
Oh, did you read that Natasha Madison book? The first one? Because I didn't like it. Yeah. I cannot think of one that we both like. Because usually we just don't read it. Yeah. Sorry. We're very boring.
We
like that.
influence each other a lot in our reading. So, what romance trope would you love to see more of?
Friends to lovers.
I do love Friends to Lovers.
Mm-hmm.
And Second Chance, though, is my favorite.
Yeah. Like Shut Out by Avery Keelan. That's a
I didn't
Friends
read
to
that,
Lovers.
did
Nope.
What
She's
was
like
the first one? Offside?
Offside.
I read that one.
Yeah. But Shut Out is like so much shorter, which I think she took like the criticism of Offside was good, but it's really long because a lot of people did say that. She cut the book in half. Like I didn't realize how short it was until I got the paperback. But she, the female character in Shut Out, is like pink personified. She has like pink hair. She loves pink everything. I'm like, yes, girl, that is me. So yeah, I really loved it. But it's Friends to Lovers. They have like a one night stand. They go their separate ways, and then he is like her brother's teammate on the hockey team, and they move into the same house together. So. And he has tattoos, and it's fantastic.
I did really like her other one, The Enforcer, which was Second Chance.
I didn't read that one.
I love, it's not a trope, but like a time jump in a romance, because typically that like pairs really well with Second Chance, and it's so. What did you think of King of the Court by R.S. Gray? Did you like that?
No. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars.
Oh my God. I loved that book. I gave it 5.
Okay, well, that's a book that I was like,
And that's Second Chance. Well, I mean, I don't know if I would consider that Second Chance, but there is a time jump. So, like, it's kind of.
I hated the time jump in that. It ruined it for me. Sometimes time jumps are good, and sometimes they ruin it.
They always make them amazing.
No.
I love them.
No. Past to present, too. I don't particularly like that. Like, you have to do a book really, really well. Like, Julie Soto's book. That was really well with the past to present. And The Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke. That's 2 that I can think of that did really well with the past to present.
I struggle with past to present like People We Meet on Vacation, because there was. Did you ever read that?
No.
The reason like they stopped talking was like a big secret, and I'm always very wary of like big secrets that blew up a relationship being held until the end, because then I'm like, is it really that big of a deal or not? And I was not super excited for the secret, and like if the reveal's not good, that kind of ruins the entire book. So
I want juicy questions. Give me the juicy questions. These are the easy ones.
Okay, let's look. Okay. So one is, how do you take not loving a book everyone else loved? So they named a very popular author that they do not like.
Just don't talk about it?
You don't talk about it even though it's a super popular author?
Well, like if I try to be super positive as much as I can, unless it's like a light lark where I'm like, why is this book published? Like, this is picked up by a publisher. Like, that one I went on a rant about, and I will die on that hill. But like, if it's a book that someone's loving, I kind of think of it as like, there are books that I absolutely love that people don't like too. And I put myself in that situation, like when they talk bad about it or when they talk about their opinions, and it makes me like sad. I try to name the reasons why I did not like the book in a very like objective way, where I'm like, this is where it is, or I read it at the wrong time, or things like that, and kind of leave it like that. But I'm just like, it wasn't for me. Like on my channel, I'll be like, I personally do not recommend this book because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, but you don't like harp on it because so many people love it that I don't want to like constantly bring up, oh my gosh, I hated that book. Like, I can see why people love it. Because, I mean, I recently read a release that I didn't love, that I've just seen, like, endless 5 stars. So I haven't even reviewed it on Goodreads yet because I'm nervous. I've chatted about it, like, in, like, reading sprints and with, like, people who have messaged me about it. But I haven't written my review yet. Because I am nervous.
Like, the one I can think of more recently was Out on a Limb. I read that for Cover to Cover Book Club. And I was like, this is cute. It's not my favorite, and it's hard because that had a really good disability rep and all of that stuff, which everyone will look to me to be like, hey, is this good? Is this good? And I had to explain like in a very like objective way why it didn't work for me. And I think like that's a fair thing when people do, and you could just like talk about it once, say why you didn't like it, and then like kind of leave it alone. Unless it's like a light lark situation where no one I know has read that book and I just did not like it, so I'm gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? Because like there's no one that's
laugh every time I see that book in the bookstore.
It was just like my opinion. I was like, why did this happen? But that's just. I mean, just because, like, I know there's certain books, like, I know the whole thing, like, oh, books I won't take criticism on has gone, like, a lot of people have done that video. And there are just some books where I'm like, look, if you hate it, that's fine. Just do not tell me. I cannot take that right now. Like the Boys of Tommen series, if you don't like it, that's totally fine. your
Just
opinion.
don't tell you.
Don't tell me. Please don't tell me. I can't. I'm not. It hasn't like sunk in. People who don't like Anti-Heroes in Love by Gianna, I can take the criticism now. I can take it. It's fine. But that took me like 2 years to get there.
I mean, like, typically there's things I understand why people don't like it. And I'm like, yeah, that's like a valid, but like it didn't bother me. I'm thinking of the Fallen Men series by Gianna.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people who really don't like that series. And I'm like, does he call her babe a lot in the first book?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I can see that criticism, but
it's funny. Like, I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, that's funny. Haha.
Really? That didn't sound.
No, I meant like I wasn't going to laugh. Like, ha ha ha. Like my laugh.
You're just like, haha. Okay, let's move on. Someone did ask, how is your podcast different from other romance book podcasts?
Ooh. Okay. I did see this question. I tried not to look at the questions because I wanted to be like surprised, but actually you go first. I'll say mine after.
Well, I mean, one of the major things was that we both work in the book industry and we wanted that to be a part of it. And I mean, I've been in the book community since I had a book blog in 2011. So like I have been around for over a decade in this community. And also we just like talking to each other. So I think it's fun. Just like it's chatty. Feels like we're friends, but I also don't listen to podcasts, so I don't really know what other people are doing. So
yeah, you do not listen to podcasts, so you're just like, I don't know any of this stuff.
Do you listen to any book podcasts though?
I used to when I had my Novel Life podcast.
Yeah, you had a podcast, which I
you never listened to.
Never listened to that.
Yeah, which I do know it's hard. Okay, so this is going to be a long answer. So let me I'm pretty sure I've talked about this previously. So my husband, Brandon, he went to school for all things music production, all things audio, video, film, all of that. So he knows a lot. Like the industry standard, he knows a lot of things, which is why like setting up my booktube channel was super easy for me because he just did everything and told me to sit down and talk, press record. So the same thing for when we did the podcast when Jess was here. He literally took like 45 minutes maybe and set everything up. The room, the way we sat, the angles, everything. He was just like, sit down, press record, here you go, which I'm very thankful for. So when I did my podcast the first time, it was because I wasn't comfortable being on camera yet. Well, that was when video podcasts were starting to become a really big thing where you can have a podcast with just audio and the audio quality can be good, but people do want to see video as well. But then you do have the people who just want to listen to audio. So I was a big podcast listener when I would go into the corporate job that I had, like when I was paralegal and I would go into Atlanta. I did listen to a lot. So I kind of knew already, but when I did that, it wasn't like fulfilling because it was just me talking about like a book review. You know what I mean?
By yourself.
Yeah. So I was just like, I kind of got bored with it. And the only episodes that did super well for me, of course, was when I had guests. But trying to coordinate with guests at a time,
which editing, you also never invited me as a guest onto your podcast.
No, because we never were friends when I had that. Like I stopped it like only a couple months after I started my booktube channel.
Really?
And we weren't even friends then.
I thought you had it for way longer than that.
Maybe I don't know. I just got really bored with it. So
okay.
I think other book podcasts, they will sit and talk about like Jessin and Juliet's podcast. They will really dive into a book. Like they will read the book and they will really, really dive into it, which is great because they can break down books really well. I don't know if you've ever listened to
I'm not good at doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that because they do it really well. I am not someone who can break down a book like that. I tried and I barely lasted 15 minutes. So like on my podcast when I had it, that's what I tried to do. So I was like, you know what?
If you want to go check out their podcast, it's Smart Women Read Romance, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I love them. Well, they're both from Louisiana, which, I mean, I love people from Louisiana, but I do like their podcast. Like they really dive into books. So like theirs is more book focused where they just break down the book really, really well. And they're just the best at that. We are not. But I feel like because we work in the bookish industry, because we already have YouTube channels that when we want to talk about things, we kind of do it on our channel. Like we were thinking about doing a Goodreads, like who's going to be on the Goodreads Choice Awards. But we probably are going to do that separately on our channel, which...
Yeah, because I do that every year.
Yeah, so like some stuff we will stick to separately on our channels, but like topics and trends and questions, like that's, I don't know. We have these chats too a lot anyway, like just as friends, and we're like, we can record them, why not? So that's a long answer, but that's how it's going to be different.
Do you want a juicy question?
Sure.
It's not that juicy. How has doing business together been?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I have found out that Jess has certain flaws, and
excuse me.
And they can be very frustrating.
What flaws do I have?
The whole thing where you're like, when we set a timeline, you're not adaptable. That's your thing.
Oh, well, excuse me. That's not a, I mean, I was gonna say that's not a bad flaw. It is, but I adapt. It takes a while. I don't like adapting. Because
you have
when
to
I
like
have a plan,
sit with it.
I'm like, this is the way it's going to happen. And in my mind, that's the way it's going to happen. And if something changes that, I'm very annoyed.
Yeah,
especially
like the 30 minutes it took me. The 30 minutes it took me to set up this podcast because like my headphones weren't working. My mic wasn't working.
2 p.m. We're going to sit down and start recording. Me, everything's set up, perfect, ready.
I just walked up.
We didn't start until 2:30.
I just walked into my library at 1:57 and I was like, yeah, it's fine. We'll do it. It'll be fine. Hey, it happens. Like, shit happens, you know?
Yeah. So I will get very frustrated if something like last minute changes something like for not better. And I just need to like, but like the good thing is Tori, I know, is my friend. So I will vent to her. And she'll listen. And then like 10 minutes later, I'll text her, it's fine. And then like my solution to the problem. And it's all good.
I don't think I've ever told you this, but that part is actually super frustrating to me.
What?
Because like when I'm in business mode, I'm in like, I have to put things into boxes. So when I'm working, I'm like working. So like if we're FaceTiming and we're talking about business, I'm all about business. And then once we finish that, we can chat about like other bullshit, you know?
Okay.
Like, kind of like catch up. But like when I'm in business mode, it is so like yesterday when I was texting you about the schedule and you're like, okay. And then you started talking about what arcs that you should get. And I was like,
that was
I need you to look at this. I need you to look at the schedule. And I was in the car driving to dinner.
In work mode. It was Friday night.
I know. And literally I was like, Brandon, I'm so tired of being like the only one that does things. And he's like, shut up.
You are not the only one that does things though. You just did that. And it was a Friday night. I need to have boundaries.
It's been one of those things where we noticed each other's flaws, I guess. And we kind of adapt to them that way. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we work really well together though, because we delegate a lot. So, but like without having to say. So like we basically like take charge of different tours without like telling each other we have to. But like if I have a free second, I'll put together something. If you have a free second, you'll put. But if like we talk about this in our other episode, but if we are feeling overwhelmed and like we can very easily tell when we're overwhelmed with something with our other work that we have to do, we're very willing to like step in and say like it's fine. Like when you got COVID.
Yeah, I was down for the count for like 7 days. That was rough.
And we very quickly learned one of Tori's flaws when it comes to social media.
Oh. Spelling? I cannot spell for shit.
Yeah. And we have to read everything like 10 times to make sure nothing's
But at the
wrong.
same time, if you see anything misspelled, it's not because I did it. Well, it is because I did it. But it's also because Jess looked at it and she didn't pick up on the...
So you have to read it very carefully.
Yeah. But that's across anything, like anything I do for Becca too. I'm also like very direct. I'm not very like customer servicey.
Oh yeah.
So if you have messaged the Forever and Always Instagram and you've gotten a very like you've sent hi, I just wanted to reach out, like a very cute message sent to us, and I send it. Well, it's me pretty much who's very direct. Like, hi, no, this tour is closed. Thanks. Period. That's it. That's because
Thank you so much for your interest in the tour. Unfortunately, it's closed, but definitely check back next time. Like, yeah, no, you
like the denial emails. The denial emails, you were like, I need to look over that before you send it. And I was like, okay. My denial email was, hi, so sorry, but you have not been chosen for this tour. Thank you so much for your support. And you like added a whole other paragraph. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like we know what our flaws are and our strong suits are. So I'll be like, hey, look over this. And it's not because I spell shit wrong. It's because you already know that. So.
But we double check each other. So like I'll send you things to double check. So.
Sometimes. I will not double check your stuff. Not always. I'm just like, Jess did it. It's fine.
So I almost posted a typo in something I posted. As I was posting, I was like, oh my God, there's a typo. We didn't figure it out. It's fine.
Yeah. And if Jess isn't available, I have Brandon look at it too for spelling.
Is he helpful?
Like when you fell asleep that one time and I needed to send the tour to
Oh, yeah,
one
because
of
that's
the
also an
authors.
issue is that you will work late
Yes.
and I do not.
Yeah.
Late, like 10 p.m. late. That's
Yeah.
my bedtime. So.
My bedtime's like midnight. I mean, we just
we
make it work.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We did get a question about, are you going to see the Eras Tour film?
No.
I saw it last night, so yes.
Wasn't it
Tori
great?
does not like Taylor Swift.
I don't get the hype. I don't get the fucking hype. That's a whole other thing. I just don't get the hype. I feel like she just talks when she sings.
Oh my God, no. She's such a good singer.
Okay.
Did you see what I'm wearing today?
No, I can't see it.
I'll show you. It's my folklore sweat.
Folklore. Do you know what I'm wearing right now? I'm wearing Hello Lovely. You can use Novel Life for 15% off.
Or
You're
Piece
welcome.
15.
No, use Novel Life.
The
my code's
OG
newer.
rep.
Yeah, I'm a newer one. I have a newer code.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, I just don't get the hype with Taylor Swift. I thought about it, like going to see it, but I don't want to sit there for 3 hours and see
It
that.
was long.
Yeah.
And there's just a bunch
Do you
of
see
little
me
kids.
dragging Brandon to that? Oh my God, he would give up like 30 minutes in.
I could not see him even wanting to go.
No. There's a Martin Scorsese movie out that we want to go see, though. Yeah, no, that's not
my
your thing.
No.
That's my thing. So
I love movies, but not
yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to see the Arrows thingy. I see enough on TikTok, so good for her. I love the whole Travis Kelce thing with her.
Yeah.
I am interested in that. But that's it.
Okay. Someone asked tips for content creation.
See, I feel like people look to us and be like, oh, you've been doing it for a little while? Like, you're the professionals. Help me. I'm like, I'm just winging it.
Well, so I did see someone on Instagram talk about like how they really want to get started. And I feel like that happened to a lot of our friends too. And they were really nervous and they're like, I don't know what to do or how to get started. And one way was that you started out by a live show on a friend's channel. And I feel like that definitely helped give you the push to want to start a channel. And I think it's just like you can't overthink it. You just have to sit down and start. Like a lot of people are scared of what other people are going to say or like putting yourself out there, and it definitely is awkward talking to a camera when you first get into it, but just taking inspiration from what everyone is doing and making your own, like people are going to care about what you say. So
yeah, a lot of people think it's like the books that you talk about, and it's not always the specific books you talk about. It's sometimes like what you bring to the table, like you as an individual, which is what I feel like you start realizing as you start filming and like posting and stuff like that. You're like, oh, people are coming because they want to see what you're doing and what you're talking about. So like, I think we talked about this in our last episode is like with content creation, do I want to read books that I want to read or do I want to read books that like people want to see my opinion on? Like you get caught up in that. Like I have no desire right now to read whatever book, right? But people keep asking me, read this book. I'm like, but I'm not in the mood for it. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So you can get caught up in that stuff, but literally just make it your own. Like do your own thing. Be who you are. Like the way I am in my videos and then this podcast and like on Instagram is literally how I am in person. I cuss just as much, probably even more. I do not say words right. Like I had a sponsorship that really went to shit because I did not pronounce the author's name right. And then I was like, how do I fix this? I already filmed it. I'm sitting here with no makeup on. It's going up tomorrow. What do I do? Like,
and you were so mad. I was like, but you said it wrong.
Listen, I was mad at myself because it's stupid that I like say things wrong like that. But it is what it is.
Yeah, but like there are, I mean, even if you look at like all the different social media platforms, there are so many people talking about the same books and people don't follow them. I mean, yeah, they'll follow them for the books that they like, but they follow you for you. So,
which I mean, that's why like, you know, you have all these different people across like romance booktube we'll just talk about. And they all bring something different to the table. They all talk about things in a certain way. They all talk about things in their own way is what I meant to say. Yeah. And, you know, like we'll all be talking about Elsie Silver, but everyone likes Elsie Silver for a bunch of different reasons. So it's same thing with like vlogs. People love to see like into your life. Like, and a lot of people think it's awkward sitting in front of a camera and you're going to be awkward. You are never not going to be awkward. Like you were never not going to be awkward at first. You'll get more comfortable. But like I use it as like therapeutic sometimes. Like I did a get ready with me for my patrons. And I was like just chatting about, I don't know, anything and everything. And I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to post it, but it's therapeutic. Just like talking about my thoughts. That's just how it is. But it's really fun too. Like you get to be, I don't know, I feel like I've gotten to be like more myself I don't know, an okay. So I'm not like worried about what people say, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. And it's just nice to have people to talk to about books because, like, in my real life, I mean, I have my sister, but she reads primarily fantasy. So I'm not getting around to a lot of the books that she's reading. So if I'm reading, like, this week I read Sophie Lark, Elsie Silver, like, my sister's not reading that. So I literally have no one to talk to, but I have a whole community now of people to talk to. So,
yeah. Like, I was reading Caught Up and I was crying. It was like 12 at night, like midnight. And I was like sniffing, and Brandon's like, what's wrong? He was like sleeping next to me. I was like, this book is so sad. He's like, well, why are you reading it? I was like, sad in a good way. You don't get it. But, no.
And then you posted on Instagram, and I bet you had a bunch of people that were like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, what's the next question?
Throwback to books that made you become a romance reader.
Twilight, 50 Shades of Grey.
I did read Twilight. I think I was in middle school and I read Twilight. I really liked it.
I was a freshman in high school.
I'd always read romance, though. Like, I was reading Simone Alcalez and Katie McGarry. I have all of the, like, Simon & Schuster. They were called, like, Simon Pulse romantic comedies. And they're these little, like, mass market paperbacks that were all, like, neon colors. And I was reading those because one of them is Lorraine Heath's pen name. I was reading that when I was, like, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade. Loved them. So, yeah.
What a nerd.
Literally, I would read at the lunch table because I, like, didn't like talking to people.
Okay, so I was never a reader. I hated reading. Like, English classes, language arts, anything like that, I always got. That was, like, my lowest grade. I hated reading comprehension. But when I started reading romance, like when I read Twilight, I was obsessed. My parents were like, who is this person? And they would buy me, like, books every weekend. Like, I would go to Walmart with my mom, and, like, she'd let me pick out one book, and I had to make that last the whole week. It was just, like, the worst. But, yeah. I would get to school early, like, in high school, and sit in the library, one, because it was quiet. And I would just, like, pick up a book and start reading it, like, from the little romance section that they had.
My mom's a huge reader, though, so we would go to the library all the time. So, and mine was really good with their young adult section.
Yeah, no, my parents never really read at all. They never read. Now, I am really happy, though, because my brother, he is 16 now, and he asked me to go to Barnes & Noble, like, a couple months ago, and I was like, yes, I will take you. And, of course, he's all into, like, what Brandon reads, which is, like, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, and who is that? The Martian? Andy something?
Andy Weir?
Yeah, so we bought him a couple books. He's currently reading Mistborn. He'll read, like, 100 pages a week or something like that, and he'll tell Brandon all about it, and I'm like, ugh, why did you read those books? But
he's not going to pick up romance.
I mean, I wanted him to do, like, Sarah J.
Maas. Yeah.
But he was like, no, I could tell if you recommended it. It's going to be some smutty books. And I was like, maybe. I mean, you're not wrong, but whatever.
I mean, Throne of Glass, I could see him liking.
Yeah, Throne of Glass, I could think he would like. But we'll see. We'll see.
I have a good one. Your favorite trope when you started reading versus now?
Ooh, enemies to lovers used to be my favorite.
And
now I'm like, it's okay. Like, I read it, but it has to be done, like, really well. I feel like there's a lot of enemies to lovers books now, when there used to not be too many.
Oh, that's true. Like, once it becomes oversaturated, you're just like, like everyone's doing it. I went through a huge motorcycle romance phase. Oh my gosh. And this wasn't like because I've always read romance, like even the Simone Alcalez series, It's Perfect Chemistry is the first book. They were like pretty much YA, not mafia, but like the main character, he was like in trouble with a gang, and like he was new and living with her family, and like they fell in love. So I've always liked more of like a darker side to romances. I mean, but then also one of my favorites, I read it, like I used to reread all the time. So The Boys Next Door was one of my absolute favorites, and she was in love with the wrong brother. So like she had a huge crush on her best friend's twin brother, but like her best friend was actually in love with her, and so she was fake dating him to try to get the other brother, and then ended up falling in love. And I'm like, ugh, the like whole messiness has always been my favorite.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up what you like. Forbidden, taboo, fake dating,
but there's
wrong
definitely
person.
Like subgenres that I was like, I read MC so much in like 2017, 2018. That's when I discovered Gianna. That's when I was reading the Hades Hangman series.
You know, MC back then that was when Cassandra Robbins she started her MC series back then. So yeah, that definitely makes sense.
A book you wish you could read again for the first time?
Ooh, this is actually hard. Okay, Crescent City. I know.
go.
Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath, and From Blood and Ash.
Just House of Sky and Breath?
Yep.
Mine's
Because of the
Manifold.
ending. Oh. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my God, I just think about it every day still.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Are there tropes we feel are overdone?
Enemies to lovers, like bully. I just feel like there's a way to do it where you do believe that they are in love at the end of the book, and then sometimes you're like just trying to be like super fucking mean to be super fucking mean, and then I don't believe that they're in love at the end of the book.
Is that trope overdone though? Or that's just like something people get wrong often?
Oh, I thought you meant overdone in that way. Okay, overdone like too much of?
Yeah.
Hockey?
I will say, like, I wish other sports were being written about. Like, I really want to read Home Run Proposal by Marin Moore because it's baseball, and I just, like, want other sports to be popular. I'm kind of over the whole hockey craze.
Yeah. I mean, especially because, like, the hockey season is done with. It's starting up again. I want rugby.
I was literally just thinking that. Like, because you told me that you were watching the rugby TikToks, and a couple have been showing up on mine. I was like, we need more rugby romances.
I love a thick man. Oh, man. They are beautiful.
I do think that enemies to lovers, when it's not actually enemies to lovers and they market it as enemies to lovers, I'm like, they just like don't get along.
Yeah.
Or if it's like for a stupid reason that they don't like each other.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest
like
fan.
enemies to lovers is very different from hate to love. And a lot of people market enemies to lovers as hate to love when it's not.
What book would you recommend to each other that you haven't read yet?
Saving and Redeeming 6.
Okay, but that's cheating. Because
Why?
I knew you would say that. Because I haven't read them yet.
Anything by Bethany Chris.
Really?
Because I talk about her a lot, and you just never read her.
No, I don't. You read everything I've read. That I've loved. I don't think I can have an answer for that. You literally read everything that's my favorite.
Well, we see who's the better friend.
Okay. You also read more than I do at this point, so.
That's true. I'm just kidding.
Than you were before.
Is that the last question?
Yeah.
Oh. This is a longer episode. Holy shit. We're at 50 minutes right now.
Oh my God.
10 of those minutes at the beginning was like us trying to figure out when to start our cameras.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
true.
like that. Anyway, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of us answering your burning questions, even though they weren't like super juicy questions, but it's fine.
No.
We had fun. We got a little insight to like how we are and what we like and, you know, just random shit. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Make sure if you're watching on Spotify, Apple, or anything like that, leave us a rating. Tell us what you thought of the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and comment. Subscribe if you haven't already.
We hope you enjoyed our bookish life, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.